Precious Hearts Romances. Paraiso by Martha Cecilia. Copyright 2005 by Precious Pages Corporation. Narrated by Maria Jasmine C. Sanchez. Chapter 16. Gusto kitang tulungan pero hindi kita makita. Nasaan ka? Narito ako! Tulungan mo ako! Umalikwas siya ng bangon at naghabol ng hininga. Oh, God! Ikinulong niya ang muka sa mga palad. Bakit pa ulit-ulit ang mga panaginip? Ang tinig na nagmamakaawang tulungan niya ay halos hindi na niya marinig ngayon. Tila nawawalan na yun ng lakas. Ang kadiliman, ang mga batuhan, ang dagat. Ano ang ibig sabihin ng mga yon? Sino ang babaeng humihingi ng tulong? Nasaan ito? Tears of hopelessness and bewilderment burned in her eyes. Binabagabag siya ng mga panaginip na yon. May 3 buwan na ang nakalipas. She looked around her. It was pitch dark. Ilang sandali muna niyang sinanay ang mga mata sa dilim bago niya naaninag ang kapirasong silid. Ibinabalik niya sa normal ang paghinga at pagkatapos ay kinapa niya ang relo niya sa ibabaw ng bedside table. It was almost 3 o'clock in the morning. Natitiyak niyang hindi na siya makakatulog. Tumayo siya at binuhay ang ilaw sa silid at nagtuloy sa labas at binuhay din ang ilaw roon. Naroon pa rin ang easel niya at nakatayo. Ipinasya niyang lagyan niyon ng panibagong canvas. Ilang sandali pa'y nagsisimula ng gumalaw ang mga kamay niya para sa panimulang pagpinta. She would paint the place she saw in her dreams. Hindi niya natitiyak kung kaya niya iguhit yun mula sa kanyang panaginip, pero susubukan niya. It started to drizzle when Adrian parked his 4-wheel drive behind Michelle's X-Trail. Nagmadaling binuksan ni Catherine ang pinto at tumakbo patungo sa cottage. Slow down, honey. Tawag niya rito. Subalit hindi siya nito nilingon. He shook his head and focused his eyes on the X-Trail's plate number. Inilista niya sa cellphone niya ang plate number ng kotse nito at pagkatapos ay ipinadala sa numerong iniwan ng investigador na kausap niya kanina umaga. Kung tama si Virgilio at anak nito si Michelle, mababawasan kahit paano ang kapighatiang dinadala nito sa kasalukuyan. And maybe, Virgilio was right. Coincidences didn't happen. Maaring alam ni Michelle ang katotohanan tungkol kay Harriet at Virgilio. Ibinalik niya sa bulsa ang cellphone at sinundan si Catherine. Inabutan niya ito sa mismong paanan ng hagdan. I knock, Daddy! Ani Catherine na tumingala sa ama. Nagsasalubong ang mumunting kilay. Tinatawag ko siya pero hindi sumasagot. He frowned. 10:30 na sa relo niya. He knocked on the door. Once, twice. Sa ikatlong katok ay nilakasan at hinabaan niya. Then he heard footfalls. Pagkatapos ay ang pagtatanggal ng lock sa pinto. Bumukas iyon at bumungad si Michelle na pupungas-pungas pa. Anong? Oh my. Malamang na nagising niya ito. Nakasuot pa ito ng cotton pajamas na may mga maliliit na bulaklak. She was barefoot too. May mga hibla ng kulot nitong buhok ang kumawala mula sa maluwag na pagkakatali nito sa likod at nakasabog sa muka. Namumula ang kanang bahagi ng pisngi na malamang ay iyon ang nadikit sa kung saan man ito nahimbing. There were paints on her chin that could only mean she had been painting through the night. The dark circles in her eyes that had been there since they met at the hotel had gone a shade darker. "Good morning," he said huskily, surprised that the sight of her tousled corkscrew hair with the paint on her face made him hard. She looked so adorable that he wanted to climb up the 3 steps and take her in his arms and plant a kiss on her lush mouth. Only the presence of his daughter had stopped his urges.
Hello, Miss Michelle.
Nakangiting bati ni Catherine. Hi. She croaked and managed a smile. Nalilitong nilingan nito ang loob ng cottage at pagkatapos ay pinaglipat-lipat sa kanilang dalawa ang paningin. Tumaas ang kamay nito at self-consciously hinawi ang mga nakasabog na buhok patalikod. I overslept. Diyan lang kayo. I won't take a minute. Nagmadali itong pumasok sa loob at ilang sandali pa'y naririnig na ni Adrian ang lagaslas ng tubig sa banyo. "Okay, Miss Catherine," ani Adrian sa anak. "Go and wait for us in the truck. Don't run. The pavement's wet and you might trip."
Okay, Daddy.
Balak niyang maupo na lang muna sa nakapaikot na kawayang upuan sa balkon nang masulyapan niya ang isel sa itaas. Pumanhik siya at tinungo yun. Nagsalubong ang mga kilay niya nang matitigan ang sinimulang ipinta ni Michelle. Hindi pa yun tapos. The paints on the canvas were still wet but the subject looked familiar. He just couldn't place it at once. Otomatiko ang paglingon niya nang marinig niya ang pagbukas ng pinto ng banyo. She took a fast shower. Michelle emerged from the bathroom door with towel wrapped around her slender body. Nang matanawan siya nito ay napahinto ito sa paghakbang at hindi malaman kung babalik sa loob ng banyo o tatakbuhin ang papasok sa silid. Hindi marahil nito inaasahang pumanhik siya. Her hands clutched on the towel firmly like a maiden aunt, securing her breast. Slim women weren't his type, and he was a sucker for big boobs and wide hips. Michelle was neither. She was on the tall side, probably a little over 5'5". The towel that wrapped her model thin body didn't hide the soft curves which were located in all the right places. For someone who admitted having sexual relationship with her ex-boyfriend, she acted like a prudish virgin. Brazenly, tinitigan niya ang mukha nito at pagkatapos ay bumaba iyon sa may bahagi ng dibdib. Sa ibabaw na nakapulupot na tuwalya. Water was dripping from her hair to her face and down to her chest. The thought of drying her with his tongue came to mind. He groaned inwardly and turned. "Take your time," he said, his back on her, and pretended to study the painting. Hindi ito kumibo pero narinig niya ang pagbukas at pagsara ng pinto ng silid nito. Adrian could have kicked himself. Kung hindi siya tumalikod ay baka napunan nito ang paninikip ng cut-offs niya. Last night was understandable. But how could you explain a hard-on just by staring at her? That you couldn't contain your lust for her. At iyon naman ang totoo. He muttered an oath silently. He hadn't had sex since Beverly, and that was more than a year ago. So months' worth of pent-up lust rushed at him like a freight train. Sa ibang babae, it was easy for him to turn his urge off. Norian for one. Kulang na lang ay dalhin ito ng ina sa silid niya. And though Norian had been submissive at first and would just willingly go along with her mother, he wasn't just interested. Kay Norian man o kahit na sinong babaeng halos ipangalandakan na ang sarili sa kanya. Whether the sex was casual or permanent. He realized just now that he didn't want to turn his lust off when it came to Michelle. Thinking about the gentle swell of her breast and those virginal pajama tops covered with little flowers made him real hard. Not that tailored pajamas on a woman appealed to him. He preferred his woman in nothing at all. Despite the ex-boyfriend, or ex-boyfriends for that matter, Michelle looked virginal for his taste. And shit, double shit. He wanted her more than his next breaths. Hold it there, my boy. What if she was really Virgilius' daughter? Well, saka na muna niya iisipin ang bagay na yun. Thank you. Ani Michelle nang iabot ni Katie dito ang cellphone at binoculars. Alam ko nakalimutan ko yan kagabi sa bahay ni Mr. De Alegre.
Diba, Daddy? Dinala ito ni Lola Veer kagabi?
Mr. De Alegre did? Nilingon siya nito. Nakakahiya naman. Gabi na. Tumango siya pero hindi lumingon dahil makitid ang daang dinadaanan nila at sa kabilang bahagi ay ang bangin patungo sa dagat. May pinag-usapan din naman kaming mahalaga. Walang problema. Saan tayo patungo? Inilabas nito ang braso sa bintana ng sasakyan at hinayaang pumatak doon ang mahinang ambon. Bago pa makasagot si Adrian, ay nauna na si Catherine na nasa likod nila.
Sa waterfall, Miss Michelle.
Wika nito.
It's on the other side of the mountain. Malimit kami ni Daddy doon.
Now I'm excited. Hindi pa ako nakakakita ng waterfall maliban sa television, sa magazines at sa net.
Really, Miss Michelle?
Really and truly. At sana'y hindi tuluyang umulan. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Dahil kung lalakas ang ulan ay malamang na mananatili tayo sa loob ng sasakyan. It's a 3-minute hike to the waterfall. Sa madamo at mabatong daan. Adrian said. I hope you're up to it. She smiled. I believe I am healthy. I attended an aerobic class and I rag twice a week. Oh, well, not since... Her voice trailed off. Since your parents died. He finished for her. Her smile vanished. Nagpakawala ito ng hininga at tumango. Nang mamatay ang mga magulang ko sa aksidente sa bus sa Virac, ay taon na binilang bago ko natanggap ang pagkawala nila. I was only 9 then. Adrian said, napakahirap marahil para sa isang 9 na taong gulang ang mawalan ng mga magulang. Sinong nagpalaki sa'yo? She asked curiously. Mga katulong at si Lolo Fred. He was Virgilius' father. Kung hindi sa pasensya at yaga niya sa akin ay hindi ko alam kung anong kahihinatnan ko. When my parents died, I didn't want to go back to school. 2 taon ako nanatili sa bahay nang walang ginagawa. Lolo Fred was my father's best friend way back then. Sinikap niyang gampanan ang iniwan ng mga magulang ko. He didn't have any idea why he was telling her that part of his life.
I miss my Lola Fred, Miss Michelle.
Ani Catherine sa likuran niya sa biglang seryosong tinig. Nilingon niya ito at nginitian. I know, sweetie. And hey, call me ate or just plain Michelle. Miss Michelle made me feel like teacherish.
I like to call you Mom.
Natigilan si Michelle sa sinabi ng bata. Adrian glanced at her but she refused to meet his eyes. He could feel her unease.
Wala akong mommy. Tapos, si Aunt Harriet hindi pa bumabalik.
Dugtong ng bata. Her voice quivered.
Iniwan niya ako. Tulad ni Lola Fred at ng totoo kong mommy.
Honey, said Adrian. Sinulyapan ang anak sa rearview mirror. You can call Michelle tita or aunt. Michelle's too young to be your mom.
Tita Narian's very young too, but Lola Odette and Lola Celestina want me to call her mommy.
Bagaman naiilang ay hindi maiwasan ni Michelle ang mapangiti. Hindi mapapasubalian ang logic ng bata. Adrian was surprised. Alam niyang malimit pag-usapan ng dalawang matatandang babae na mas mabuting sila ni Norian ang magkapangasawahan. At kung minsan, kapag nasa bahay siya ng mga de Alegre ay naitatanong ni Lola Celestina kung kailan siya mag-aasawa. At kapag ganoon na ang usapan ay hindi na naiiwasang nababanggit si Norian. Pero ang sabihin kay Cathy na tawaging mommy, si Norian ay ngayon lang niya narinig. Then why didn't you? He asked his child curiously. Naningkit ang mga mata ng bata.
I don't like Lola Odette. She scares me and she's not very nice.
Honey?
Basta,
Her foot stomped on the car floor stubbornly.
I wanna call Michelle mommy.
Catherine. Tumaas na ang tinig ni Adrian at natitiyak ni Michelle na ang susunod na sasabihin nito ay malamang na magpaiyak sa bata. Inabot niya ang braso ni Adrian at hinawakan bago pa nito madugtungan ang sinasabi. Heat shot up through her arm like wildfire. Their eyes locked for a brief moment before Adrian turned his eyes on the road.
You're shouting at me, Daddy.
Tama siya. Tuluyan nang nabasag ang tinig ng bata at nakita na niya ang pamumuo ng luha sa mga mata nito.
Sabi ko lang, Mommy, ang itatawag ko kay Michelle.
Okay, honey. Michelle said softly. You can call me Mommy, but that is our secret. Napatayo ito mula sa upuan at napalapit sa kanya.
You mean I can call you Mommy when we're alone?
Tumikhim siya. Hindi niya alam kung tama ang sinasabi. Sinulyapan niya si Adrian, umaasang tutulungan siya. Subalit na sa pagmamaneho ang konsentrasyon nito dahil mabato at zigzag ang makitid na daan. I suppose so, she said, stammering, unsure if it was the right thing to say.
Yes!
Ngumiti si Catherine. Despite the headrest, the girl's arms snaked around her neck and embraced her.
Since we're alone now, I can call you Mommy.
Hinagkan siya nito sa pisngi bago nasisiyahang bumalik ito sa upuan. Naiilang niyang nilinga si Adrian. I hope I said and done the right thing. She paused, then sighed. I was once a child too, and I know it when... Her voice trailed off. Adrian's lips curved in a lopsided smile. Sandali siyang sinulyapan. You couldn't have done better, he said. Ituloy mo ang sinasabi mo. You were once a child and you know it when what? Isang di pa mahigit mula sa daan ay matarik na bangin sa ibaba patungo sa mga batuhan at sa karagatan. Sa kabila ng kagandahan ng lugar, kung hindi mag-iingat ang isa ay maraming paraan para mapahamak. Hey, untag ni Adrian. She wished he dropped the subject. It's another story though. My father didn't like me very much. Wika niya sa pinakamahinang tinig upang hindi marinig ni Catherine na naglalaro na ng game and watch na gumagawa ng maingay na tunog. Nagsalubong ang mga kilay ni Adrian. Why would a father wouldn't like her own daughter? Unless you weren't his daughter. She'd switched off the sadness that suddenly gripped her and smiled at him. Let us not talk about me, Adrian. Nilingan niya ang buong paligid. This is such a beautiful place. Sana'y dinala ko ang gamit ko sa pagpipinta. And I wish I would be able to paint half of its beauty before I left today. Michelle. Ang sasabihin ni Adrian ay naawat nang biglang paghagis ni Catherine ng laruan at tumahimik yun.
Left? Left where, Mommy?
Both Adrian and Michelle could hear the panic in Catherine's voice. Michelle's only your mommy pretend, Catherine. She will have to go back home soon. Ipinarada ni Adrian ang Hilux sa clearing sa may paanan ng bundok. Here we are, ladies. he said smiling. Umaasang ma-divert ang isip ng anak sa pinag-uusapan. At least, nanatiling hindi lumalakas ang ambon.
No!
Cried the child frantically.
Aunt Harriet had left me already. You can't leave me too.
Nalilitong napatitig siya kay Adrian na ang anyo ay kinakitaan din ng pagkamangha sa anak. Catherine, honey. Sinikap nitong abutin ng anak subalit sumiksik sa sulok ng upuan ng bata at iwinasiwas ang maliit na kamay upang itaboy ang kamay nito.
No!
Catherine cried hysterically pagkatapos ay tumingin kay Michelle. Umaapaw ang mga luha sa mga mata.
Promise you won't leave me. Promise me. Promise!
She was shrieking now,